one. Hey guys, I am Caleb Giddings,
And I am Keith Finch.
and this week we are joined by.
Lieutenant Marc Santos of the Navy Marksmanship team.
This week we are going to be talking about two subjects, guys. We're going to be talking a little bit about action shooting with Lieutenant Santos. If at any point I'm extremely disrespectful to him, it's only because he's an 03 and my well-known disdain for all officers for legal reasons. That's also a joke. Anyone in the Air Force who's listening to this. But as you guys will see here in 3, 2, 1. We have sponsors, and Keith.
We also have our title sponsor, who is still slideless, unfortunately, guns.com. So thank you, guns.com, for doing what you do for us.
Which is give us money so that we can talk to Sir Lieutenant Santos, sir. So I'm just going to call you Mark because that's how I knew you before I knew you were in the Navy. And I'm also not in uniform. We're both off right now anyway. So tell me, so everyone knows that the Army, well, not everyone, lots of people know about the AMU, the Army Marksmanship Unit. They're probably the most famous military marksmanship team. All of the branches actually have a team. So tell us a little bit about the U.S. Navy Marksmanship team. I got it.
Yeah, not Mutant Ninja Turtles or any of that. So the Navy Marksmanship team, it's a collateral duty. So it's something that we do on the offside, much similar to the Air Force's program. And it's traditionally CMP Bullseye. So we usually send shooters to Camp Perry. A lot of people join to try and get their distinguishment. But a couple of years ago, they started implementing action shooting. Lieutenant Lightner, or Lieutenant Commander Select, he's going to be a dirty hinge soon. He's actually the
a what?
A dirty hinge, because the lieutenant commander bars on the shoulder, there's like two fat ones and there's one in the middle, so we call them hinges. And that's when they transition out of being part of the junior officer protection.
Wait, don't. Oh no, that's. Hold on. No, I thought lieutenant commanders wore. Oh shit. No, when you're talking about like shoulder boards, right? Okay. I thought you were talking about an Oakley for a minute. And I was like, how?
No, he's getting one of those. He's getting one of those too. Leaving the railroad silver gang, sadly.
So to translate this out of Navy speak and into all the rest of the branches,
the landlubber. Yeah.
A lieutenant commander is a major in the Army, Air Force, or Marine Corps.
Got that bronze okie going on.
Yeah. All right. So continue. Sorry.
So anyways, so we do have the East Coast match and the West Coast match is just traditionally CMP Bullseye. But on the East Coast matches for the last two, we have implemented action shooting to get people into doing it. Because let's face it, 3-gun, USPSA, IDPA, IPSC Steel Challenge, they're very, very structured and it's out there. And sometimes sailors can't get to a bullseye match or a CMP style match. So a lot of us, there's about 12. We just added 2 more members, a retired senior chief and another CB. We've got a couple of CBs. But it's a collateral duty for us. So it goes into our fit reps or evals. We get to represent the Navy. We do get some support, and our jersey is controlled. So if you're on the Bullseye team, but you want the awesome action shooting team jersey, you do have to meet the wickets. Right now, we're on a growth phase. So our wickets are B class or better in any pistol division in USPSA. Got to be A class or better in PCC. I'm sorry, you're bringing a rifle to a pistol match.
I love it. The Navy is discriminating against PCC shooters. This is the best day of my life.
Everyone should, and we know it. But this follows along the lines of what the Marine Corps marksmanship team did a couple of years ago too, and the Navy probably followed suit or did it in parallel, where the Marine Corps marksmanship team, which was also CMP style, started implementing action shooting and tactical shooting sports. So
I'm very proud of our children. They're a lot more progressive than we are. So the way the Marine Corps does it now is that
we got those H&Ks and we just went
it's a shore duty billet to be on the marksmanship team, where all you do for your shore duty is basically what the AMU does full time. So the Marine action shooters, their marksmanship team, that's all they do for that shore duty: shoot travel matches. They got some really really good shooters.
So
For
what that sounds like to me is the Marine got jelly of the Army and was like, well, if they can do it, we can too.
yeah, they're even you can actually earn distinguished badges through action shooting now through the Marine Corps.
For distinct, because okay, so to backtrack a little bit for people who don't know what the hell a distinguished badge is. A distinguished badge is a decoration that you can wear on your dress uniform. That really long version of it you get for being good at shooting. Traditionally, you've been able to earn it via service rifle matches or service pistol matches. You could also earn it, interestingly enough, through NRA Action Pistol, through shooting Bianchi Cup. Because all of those matches were sanctioned either by the CMP or by somebody that awarded the distinguished badge. What the fuck? Action shooting distinguished badge? Get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, they released that pub last year, the announcement. So I think that's really, really cool for them. And also the distinguished badge, it's very, very hard to earn. Please do not, for our listeners, please do not confuse it with the expert rifleman or expert pistol medal.
No, those are hard to earn.
Which are really easy to earn.
No, those are like
those are not hard to earn.
It's like good enough for government, more
That actually leads me to a parallel question I've been meaning to ask someone in the Navy. So one of the things I'm proud of, so people who don't know, I'm an Air Force combat arms instructor, which as a point of pride, we're the only branch of the military that has firearms instructor as a full-time primary MOS or AFSC or rate, whatever language you use. Our pistol qual, in my opinion, is not bad. It requires headshots, body shots, shooting out to 15 and 25 yards, drawing from the holster, reloading on the clock. If you run it straight up as law enforcement mill quals go, it's not that bad. How's the Navy's qual? I have no idea what you guys even shoot for your rifle or your pistol quals.
Okay, so for the pistol, I'm probably going to upset the gunners mates out there because I don't know it verbatim. The gunners
That's okay, they're not human.
Yeah. Oof. Anyways, we use the standard blue guide target. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of it, and it's fired at 3, 5, 7, 10, and 15 yards. That's as far as you shoot it, and there is a time limit, but the time standards for action shooting, it's very slow.
It's very generous.
It's very generous, so it's nothing too bad. I'm trying to find a picture that one of our teammates put up.
Is it like that blue B-27 target?
Yeah, it's this blue guy here.
Yeah. So that, I believe, is the Ohio Transitional Police target. It's available on lawenforcementtargets.com. It is standard for many, many police agencies.
Yeah, and so that course of fire, I mean, it's not difficult if you are about that life. My favorite is that we do shoot it on the back of the ship. So
that is,
it gets very entertaining.
The horizon backstop is my favorite backstop.
Yeah, I remember I put up a picture of us having a range day there, and a lot of the landlubbers, they're just like, oh, you're gonna hit some fishermen, but it's a big coordinated event. So I think that's one of the gunners mates and the marksmanship instructors on board. That's when they have the most power because they control like thousands of tons of steel, and we got to be 5 miles away from anything else. Because sometimes, hey, we'll go out and we'll shoot the 50 cal, the 240s, but it's all coordinated and it's very, very safe. So people freak out, but it's neat. The rifle qual, it's with irons, still embracing tradition, but
old school.
Old school.
Is it now, question, is it with irons because you're embracing tradition or because the Navy, and maybe rightfully so, hasn't seen fit to spring for red dots for all of their guns based on the qual frequency?
So right now, like, it also goes back into my job as a supply logistics officer for the Navy. You can field approved red dot sites. You can get them for your armory. So for the suppos and COs out there, hey, throw your sailors some love. And if they qualify with that red dot site, I've seen some LCANs. We got some aim point PROs at my last command, baller. but for 2007. But
wait, hang on.
What?
So you guys have just like a mixed like grab bag of optics. You don't have a standardized. This is the Navy's rifle optic.
No, man.
They don't.
No, it's like a road
How
warrior.
is the
It's
Air
like Road
Force the
Warrior.
most progressive branch of the military when it comes to firearms acquisitions?
We
We don't ever shoot anybody.
You guys got the M16 first, and you just haven't given it back up.
Yeah.
We also got the M9 first. We were the first to field the M4s service wide. Like we don't deploy with M16s anymore. I was walking around on my last deployment and I saw a soldier in the chow hall with an M16 with an aim point on a gooseneck mount, which I had not ever actually seen like anywhere outside of somebody who was like, look at my cool 1987 retro rifle.
Yeah, so that stinks because the gunner's mate, chief on my ship, Chief Walker, he's trying to start his little YouTube channel, 3 kinds of gun or 3 cock. He's deployed right now, so he's a little sad. Poor one. This one's for him. No port calls.
Ooh.
Yeah, during COVID,
Rough.
they can only stay on the pier, so it's pretty bad.
Are you kidding me?
No, I wish I was. Like one of my sailors said, he like sent me a picture. I'm like, hey, what you up to? He's like, can you get some cool port calls? Like, no, but I spent $100 on scotch at the pier. I was like, okay. I mean, yeah.
Side tangent question now. Keith, you were in the Marines, correct?
Yes.
Did you ever do any floaty tours or whatever the hell you call it when you're on a boat?
Never got on a float. I was supposed to do the Australia float, never got on the float.
Yeah,
I went
you
to
could have been a
Morocco,
shell.
though, and trained those guys. That was
You could have
fun.
been a shellback like I am.
So Keith is the least boaty person here because Mark's a shellback. I'm a shellback. I've also done an Atlantic crossing on a ship that had honest to God sails. So
brought to you by the Coast Guard, right?
Brought to you by the Coast Guard and Cutter Bark Eagle, which go ahead and Google the Coast Guard Cutter Eagle and then send me DMs about, oh my God, we captured it from the Nazis and there's still swastikas on it, because that's all true. It's a really fun story. Do not read the sci-fi books that were set around. This is not a joke. This is a really bad tangent. So the Coast Guard Cutter Eagle, we picked it in like 1940, some whatever. It's a 3-masted bark sailing ship. It's got an engine in it. Some absolute mad lad wrote a series of sci-fi novels where Cutter Eagle, aka the Dirty Bird, was transported back in time to like the 1600s or 1700s or something like that. And the first book is so bonkers bananas, it makes everything John Ringo wrote look tame and sane by comparison. So
it's also an ultimate flex. I mean, you're sailing a war trophy. I mean, that's an ultimate flex. I mean, the Navy Marines, we actually returned the Sujaji. For those that don't know, it's the Korean battle flag that was taken from the Joseon Empire during our little Marine excursion there. After
just a little bit of an adventure.
Yeah, so
in and out, real quick.
Sidetrack. Yeah, in and out. 20 minutes, 2 Medal of Honor, sailing their flags. We're gonna display it at the Naval Academy. But okay, hey, let's give it back to Korea like a couple hundred years later, you know.
See, and this is the thing: Germany can't ask for shit back from World War II. Like they're like, oh no, they do. If you go to as we've already gone completely off the rails with this podcast, I'm going to continue. Before I do, if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, 5-star review, guys. Thanks. Anyway, if you go to the several of the natural history museums in Berlin, they will have in the display something that says something to the effect of, this display is incomplete. It used to have XYZ, which was taken during the Russian invasion of Germany and is currently held in Russia in violation of international laws. It's the most passive aggressive shit I've ever seen in a display, because it makes it sound like Russia just rolled in and took this. Not like, guys, you did some naughty shit before that.
Remember when you were genociding people? Remember that? Like, they came in and stopped that. Not that they were nice about it, but there was a little more going on than just, oh, hey, they took the stuff from our museum.
Okay, so back to the U.S. Navy action shooting team. you said that you have some standards, so you can't just be Bobby off the street.
No,
I'm a gunner's mate and I can shoot good.
Yeah, we don't want shirt collectors. That's what we can call. That's what we kind of call them. For the action shooting team, our ethos is to have people that actually shoot and will represent the Navy in good light. So like backtracking, so B class or better in any of the pistol divisions in USPSA, A class or better in PCC for USPSA, A class or better in any division for Steel Challenge, Master or better in IDPA. But the biggest wicket a lot of people are having a hard time to meet is you have to compete at a world national level match. We will give consideration to people that go to multiple area championships, but the big thing is we want our jerseys and our team to have people that are active in the sport. We're actually working on having like an active and a reserve team just because of operational tours some of us might get pulled to. We also do take reservists. We do have a couple of retirees that were able to earn the jersey before they retired, and they still represent us, which is pretty good. We even got one of the Philippines that's like wilding out shooting dipstick there. That's pretty cool. But no, our OIC for the action shooting team, Jeremy Lightner. So he's a 3-gunner through and through. He's got some regional, national titles, PCC GM. He'll be the first to say, hey, I'm a paper master when it comes to pistol stuff, but he's the one that really set those standards. Because the Bullseye shooting team, if you want to be officially part of the team, have it on your fit rep or eval, you have to shoot inter-service matches at Camp Perry. And the thing is, we kind of like how we're handling it because we're getting some really, really good shooters. We had 2 teammates. They shot that big match up in California, Nils Jonassen's match, and they won their divisions, which is really, really cool. And they were repping the Navy. So our mantra is, hey, we can give you the recipe, but we got to see if you can cook. Also, don't say that to the culinary specialists. They get angry at me when I say that.
I'm amazed that you treat these people like culinary specialists like they're people, which as a joke, I actually love the culinary specialists on this base. They make really, really good scrambled eggs. And that's pretty much it. But so I have a serious question. You said reservists, because I will, and so you said you'll take reservists. Cool. How do you feel about revolvers? Because I will put a transfer package in so fast.
I ain't re-upping.
That would be dope. I mean, you just shot the Illinois state championship for IDPA. I mean, you can our IDPA ringer with revolver and our revolver ringer. That'd be dope.
Just show up to matches representing one of the most powerful navies in the world with a museum piece. Just be like, yep, no, this design was perfected in 1898, probably was been.
Yeah.
That's an actual museum piece.
Yeah, it's actually a Chamberlain 38 special. So that's what's really cool. I get yelled at the range because people think it's a black powder and they think I'm some FUD. And they're like, I'm like, nah, man, it's centerfire. We're good. This was actually a group buy. Myself and 3 other officers on the ship did a group buy of revolvers. We showed a picture to our captain, and he's like, "What are you doing with those?" It's like, "Oh, for dueling." And he laughed, but Commander Golden, he actually came out to a shooting match one time, and he was rocking a 1911 he bought for himself on deployment. He asked me and my Marine buddy Joe Levy, "Hey, can you help me improve my shooting style?" And it was like cracking open a time capsule from the 90s just because of his shooting stance and style. And
hardcore weaver.
I mean, he made his hits. I mean, he was good. He could throw down, but we were very conflicted. It's like, should we fix him? Because this man is a national treasure. It's like cracking open a time capsule.
As a general rule of thumb, when I teach military classes, and if you're in the military, if you're listening to this, this is very much a my way, not anyone else's way. We always, in the Air Force, we have, like, for pistol classes, we'll have a classroom session, we'll dry fire, we'll do all of that stuff. I'll be able to identify the weaver guys and the tactical turtle guys and all of that, and I will say, hey, here's how I do these things, here's how I teach them, here's why I teach them, here's why I believe that this is a more optimized way to get your hits. When we get out on the line, you have 45 rounds of practice that don't count towards your final score. strongly encourage you to try what I'm saying here. However, if it sucks and you go out there and you go back to what you've been doing and you pass your qualification, ultimately that's what we're here to get these guys through. And that's kind of that's the big difference for me for teaching civilian classes versus teaching military classes. Military classes, I have an end state that I have to get these people to, which is qualified for duty, mobility, or whatever. Civilian classes, I don't have that end state. So it's very much I can actually lean harder on civilians to do shit a different way than I can on military people. Because if I've got a guy who's, doctrinal weaver straight out of, Jeff Cooper book, and he goes 45 for 45 on the target, I'm not going to say shit. Hominis Dominus, go with God. LAPD killed a lot of people with doctrinal weaver. So
yeah, and with the civilian courses too, a lot of them, they want to be there. It's not just like a check in a box, and that's what's really, really nice. I know my sailors, they love range days. So if you're on a smaller, the amphib short bus, like the one behind me, 30 officers, about 300 enlisted, every division there has their duty stations while going underway. The engineers are down in the main engine rooms, the quartermasters, which are navigators, are up there, deck department. But guess who stands the armed watches and mans the 50 cals and the 240s, or have armed watches?
Non-rated seamen?
No, the supply people.
Because you don't have anything else to do?
Yeah, I actually had batteries release authority on my ship and could stand ATMO, which was nice as a staff officer. It felt good, but my captain and it's nice because I'll see my logistics specialist, my retail specialist, and the CSs, the cooks. They're all like there, and they were pretty moto too. They wanted to do it, so they're standing watches properly. Some of the best shooters we had on the ship came from supply, which was nice.
I had a very large misunderstanding there when you said battery release authority, because I thought you were the guy that could actually get me the fucking batteries for my fucking nods so I can use them. But no, you're talking about
also that guy.
Yeah. Sorry, man. They'll be here Christmas 2023 on back order.
I just want to be able to see it in the dark.
But going back to the equipment, I know that you were very surprised that we don't have a uniform thing. So it's really command heavy. So we have a list of stuff we can buy, but we can mix and match. So for example, my ship, the Carter Hall, when we got our M4 sorted out, they had the Aimpoint PROs. We had M4s from FN. We got rid of all the M16s we had to get, newer ones. And we also had PMags. I ordered them for the command. But on the pier right next to us, the USS Oak Hill, for example, they were using M4s as well, or some M16s. They had the flip up CAC sights or the carry handles, and they were using the brown anodized magazines. So what I like about the Navy is that even though we are all in one service, the communities and the commands are so different. It's really, really cool to discover the subcultures of each one, which is really nice because every ship is, different. I mean, you got the freaking Flying Dutchman, you got the Black Pearl. Crews are entirely different, but we're still in the same branch. Yeah.
I really hope that you guys have nicknames for ships like the Flying Dutchman and the Black Pearl, because that would be great. So that's been a fun conversation about military and action shooting that went a little bit off the rails. We are going to pivot now to entertainment and pop culture. And before we do that, I will actually do a proper like, subscribe, and share read. So guys, if you are listening to this.
And also just one more thing.
Okay. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. Did you just piggyback?
To piggyback of what Technical Sergeant Giddings said, please follow Navy Action Shooting on Instagram.
I was actually going to do that. Like at the end of the show, we do a, where are you? Where can we find you? Blah, blah, blah. But since you did it now, please follow Navy Action Shooting on Instagram. If you search for them, I don't believe they've been shadow banned yet.
They're
working on it. So if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, make sure you guys do leave us one of those 5-star reviews. It boosts the show in the algorithm. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe, comment, do all of those fun things that you can do with YouTube videos. And now that we've gotten that out of the way, we're going to pivot to pop culture. And pop culture we're talking about today is Tomorrow, the Tomorrow War, specifically starring Chris Pratt. And I couldn't name, starring Chris Pratt, Chris Pratt and Beretta 1301. Those were the stars of the movie, and I will broach no further conversation on that
and
subject.
the guy from the insurance commercial.
Oh yeah, we can
He's
talk about
buff as hell.
J.K. Simmons turned into a just friggin' like TRT been good to him.
Freaking Master Roshi from Dragon Ball Z. That's all I saw.
Right. Conspiracy Santa.
Could that? Oh, and he had the best lines in the movie. When he spoil. Okay, hang on. The rest of this conversation will at some point likely contain spoilers for the Tomorrow War. So if you don't want to hear that, stop listening in 3, 2, 1. He had the best line in the movie when he shoots the female Zerg in the head, and he's like, "Surprise, dumbass!" And we'll also be referring to the monsters as Zergs because, come on,
they're Zergs.
They were Zergs. Zergs. All right, so. But the internet, the gun industry and the gun internet is abuzz about this movie because on the balance, the gun handling was excellent. Like the actual technical gun handling, the manipulations, all of that was excellent. There was an LTT 1301 that featured a pretty rad role in the movie. But there was a great meme, and I think it was originally posted by Sons of Liberty Gunworks, about the choice of long gun that the future military selected, which was a 7-inch 5.56 full rock and roll with a 3.5 power ACOG, a 45-degree offset red dot, and a full-size SOP mod stock. So all very confusing choices.
It wasn't the SOP mod. It was the I think it's the Hera Arms like P90 looking stock. They had the full Hera arms, like
it even had the foregrip too.
Front, and it had the spacers.
And I do have to, I do need to say one thing though. I thought that like as a way to create a gun that has sort of a sci-fi vibe to it, but managing to keep it within sort of like I can see the military in a real-ish world having something like this. I thought they did a great job. I thought the guns looked really cool.
It's one of the most sci-fi looking setups you can get out of the guns right now that actually look pretty legit. They look really cool putting that furniture set on.
And that would actually run with 5.56 blanks, which
it
is
would.
Yeah. So, but this has spawned a raft of conversation, as it were, about what would be a better small arms choice for dealing with this. And what we're going to do is we're going to go around the circle here and we're going to talk about our small arms choice for dealing with this. But before we do that, we have to establish some ground rules. And the ground rule is we are making this choice within the fictional constraints presented to us by the universe itself. So they're fighting these things that are basically light armor as infantry, which we can all agree is a shitty way to fight light armor, is with infantry. For some reason, they're not using massed Mark 19s firing into them. So they're doing a lot of things that tactically don't make sense, but we are confining our decisions to the rules presented to us by the fictional universe, which means I can't say, how would I fight them? A JTAC with a radio and a fleet of A-10s. That's how I do it. We win.
They do it for a minute with F-22s.
I know it. Great.
Those F-22s flew too low. It's time to make napalm great again. That's all I gotta say.
It really is.
Well, and the other problem too, they also apparently these aliens can swim, so they fuck the Navy up, but they can't fly. So the Air Force again would be like, we reign supreme. Just in the real world, you can't tell me also that the second Russia found out that there were space aliens taking over their own country, that they wouldn't have just nuked that own section of their country.
No, they would have glassed that place.
It's Russia. We have plenty more Russia to go around.
Yeah,
Nuclear bomb. And the movie. But all right, so we're gonna start with Keith. Keith, give me your fictional long gun and handgun combo that you think would. And there's a two-parter. So first, I want you to go with the combo that you would pick to outfit an army, then go with what you would carry as the lone survivor trying to like defend yourself. Give me your military scenario and your Burt Gummer scenario.
All right, so military scenario, we're going to touch on a couple of future weapons programs right now because they would honestly be 1,000 times better than what the movie picked. I know the movie was going for cool, and I know they broke some of the rules, of physical rules for it, which is funny because they put those rules all back in place later in the movie. If you guys haven't seen it yet, again, spoilers, but the movie is like a two-parter. You have two stories going on. You have the first story, which is all the crazy sci-fi stuff, and then you get a second part, which is like the continuation of the story, but it goes back to modern day, and they've all got like regular M4s again, and those all seem to work normally. So they have their tiny little future guns, when in reality, since you're fighting light armored aliens that are hard as hell to, bust armor through, maybe we look at the NGSW program and the enhanced penetrator rounds that are going on in 6.8 and 6.5. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, maybe look at the actual armor defeating rifles that we are currently trying to put together from like SIG, the Beretta HK, and friggin' who's the third partner there? Not the Textrons with Beretta, so they're the plastic ammo bullpups. And then who's the third one? Can't remember the third one. But SIG's got
SIG's got one, Beretta's got one.
Beretta, Textron, and who does the weird caseless ammo?
Well, I mean, don't say HKG11 and we'll all be sad.
No, that would make sad. Anyway, don't remember, but
there's one out there.
Taking the EPR concept and doing it in something like a 6.5 or a 6.8, and then using projected future tech to just crank the thing's velocity to 11, so it's got a lot of armor defeat capability, but still in what is conventionally a rifle round, which is one of the rules of the universe. They were still using conventional centerfire weapons, just with lots of ammo. Apparently, the 300 round PMags were amazing. So if they got that, and you still get 300 round PMags just in a bigger round, sure, I'm rocking with the new SIG MCX Spear, rocking that EPR ammo, and just going to town.
So
also, grenades. We're bringing grenades, guys. We are bringing grenades and grenade launchers. Underbarrel grenade launchers is still a thing. Going to do it.
I guess I forgot to mention sort of the problem that the universe was trying to solve was that these aliens have like dense bone tissue structures on their back and skull area, which protect them from most small arms fire, making their vulnerable spots. Making their vulnerable spots the vulnerable spots on anything. The neck,
it was
the
really,
face,
it
and
was
the
really
stomach.
funny them pointing that out. Like, guys, the only places that they die are here and here, and you're like, that's normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, center mass, guys. Not trained for this.
All right, so Keith, now give me your Burt Gummer scenario. You're trying to, and now you go buck wild. Daisy chain claymores around your compound.
Oh shit! Rooftop mounted 338s with the new spacey ammo. 338 Lapua. No, the Norma Magnums for everyone. Get that 1,800 meter effective range, all of it, and then napalm. Lots of napalm. Lovely amounts. I'm going out like a barbecue.
Going out like a barbecue. I love that.
It's gonna be that. It's gonna be that scene from the third Olympus Angel Has Fallen, where
I don't know if I saw that one.
Running from the evil guys in the forest, and he's just got booby traps everywhere. Yeah. He's just like, grab me that. All right, now that one. And they're just explosions everywhere. They're taking out everything.
Yeah.
Explosions everywhere.
I'm going to be Mr. Torg. Explosions?
All right, so that brings us to Lieutenant. And again, you can't say I want an Arleigh Burke with, unlimited ammo, because, they murked one of those in the movie anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so... I'm Filipino. I'm a jungle Asian, and the movie reminded me of Starship Troopers, and also during the Spanish-American Wars, how the Americans combated the Moro warriors. They were going from their service revolvers that were 38. It's like, oh yeah, we need something bigger. So for me, it's like, okay, you're shifting because these kind of aliens are primal. It's like you're hunting the predator. It's not rank and file soldiers, not like Romulans invading or any of that stuff. So you have to change the doctrine to that. Like you want to get the freaking Billy's, Arnold Schwarzeneggers from Predator. Do you want Muldoon from Jurassic Park? You want them to be training your conscripts. You're hunting animals. So it's big bore stuff, blunt force trauma. I would get a Dissident Arms shotgun for 3-gun and load it up with some spicy slugs, and I would have one guy in my squad just use that just to disorient the alien.
If you guys haven't seen a Dissident Arms shotgun, as an aside, there's a big ass magazine fed shotgun. It's got like a 20-round mag or some crazy thing.
Yeah, they have drum
giant
as well.
Giant stick or a massive.
And they actually run, which is really, really awesome.
They're actually like $4,000.
It's all right, man.
Good.
We got future army money, baby.
Got future army money, man. Which would be pretty bad because it's like it would get to the point where it's enemy at the gates. Like if you drop rifle, you pick rifle up, because those things aren't cheap. But I would actually go for a bigger bore, service rifle, for lack of a better term. Something in 308, 7.62, 5.1. I mean, something that's reminiscent of the guns they used in Starship Troopers. Remember, they had the bullpup and then they had the shotgun under it. Because at the end of the day, I wanted those engagements were like 300 yards at the end. Those aliens, they could shoot their darts, but the thing is that they're slinging them. I mean, it's kind of like Zulu Dawn type combat at that point. It's not, I'm gonna.
Everything in the movie was close quarters, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would train my people how to use a grappling hook, how to wrangle. It's like, yo, you were a rodeo clown. You know how to use a lasso. I need to borrow you. You're in, son. And that's how it'd be, because you would, instead of having rank and file military soldiers, you would have hunters. They would work in cadres and small teams. I might be biting off of the SEAL thing a little bit, but that's what you have to do to defeat these aliens, because they're not Independence Day aliens with force fields, telekinetic powers. They're just a bunch of feeders, gatherers. Also, bayonets, like Last Stand stuff. Just harvest the bones and stuff that they can use. For Christ's sake, Chris Pratt slit the throat of the lady one with a claw from the other one. Why am I not making makeshift weapons? Like, it harkens back to my Filipino heritage. I mean, you got Filipino soldiers in the Battle of Mawari that are doing urban combat with M14s, modified M14s they got from like the freaking pre-Vietnam War. It's crazy, and that's how you would fight it. Just straight up road warrior stuff. For a handgun, anything big bore, even
hunting grade handguns, something that could actually stop game.
Like even the 10 millimeter. I mean,
hell yeah,
10 millimeter rifles will see a
centimeter, best millimeter.
Yeah, they'll see a freaking F-18, and then they'll just be like, look what they have to do to just mimic a fraction of our power. My brother-in-law loves 10 millimeter so much. He lives in Texas. I remember I went down there. We were at his land. He's like, "Hey, Mark, did you bring your carry guns?" Like, no. It's like, here, you can borrow one of mine. And it was like that scene in Step Brothers where they become best friends. He handed me a Colt Delta Elite from the 90s that was tuned over by Novak. And I was like,
okay, that's a pretty good gun. I would not be mad at that. And plus, we all know that if you were to shoot a charging alien with a 10 millimeter, they would explode into a shower of goo, because 10 millimeter, it just kills everything.
And we're talking about 40 millimeter grenades, and we're really stepping by the true killer, which is the 10 millimeter.
Yeah.
I would just want to point out, before I go into my choice, that we have Keith in one corner who is like, let's bring the most advanced lethal weapon systems that haven't been fully fielded yet. And Mark is like, fuck them with spears.
Pretty much. You got an M1 Garand. We got some armor piercing, 30-06. Woo, it's going to be a good time. And even
some black tick.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you want to be a sniper? Here's a Barrett 50 cal. Because I will tell you, in that movie, when his daughter jumped on top of the Humvee, got onto
the 50 was doing the Lord's work.
She was doing the work. So I mean, there's something said about that. It's like big alien, big bullet. Just saying.
So I'm going to change my answer. So if you follow me on Facebook, I talked about this earlier. I was like, honestly, probably something, if I was picking from currently extant technologies, an HK417 with an underbarrel grenade launcher. Like that's going to kind of be your do everything.
Predator 2020 right there, man.
Yeah. 308 AP rounds are no punk. Like they will fuck some stuff up. And, but also what will really fuck some stuff up is the 40 Mike HEDP, which I would just be reload. It'd be HEDP.
The Bloopy boy speaketh.
Oh yeah. And the new 320 grenade launchers that HK has made for the military are actually pretty rad because instead of the old ka-chunk load,
really nice.
Ka-chunk, it just pops out it's faster to load.
Yeah.
You've got them in a little shorty boy. Like
it's a double action trigger, so you don't have to do the stupid rotate freaking thing. You just pull it again. Just pull it again.
Who is it that makes the 7-shot launcher? Is that FN? There's a 7-shot rotary grenade launcher, or maybe 5-shot.
I don't know. All the 6s, the 32s were.
Hang on. Rotary grenade launcher.
Not Raytheon.
Yeah. Oh, okay. According to Wikipedia, it's the Milcor MGL.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'll just equip everybody with Milcor MGLs, and there, I win. Everything's dead. But in all seriousness, I was actually thinking about this and thinking about a gun, and Keith is gonna fucking love this because let's assume we know a little bit more about their armor and what goes through it, and the new Mark 318 Mod 0 might go right through it. The new M855A1 might go right through it. And if you couple an M855A1 with a 20-inch barrel, which you can then make compact by putting it in a fucking bullpup.
A bullpup.
He's joining us, Mark. He's joining us.
I'm just saying that because you can also mount grenade launchers on bullpups, right? Can you guys do that?
Yes.
Can I put a grenade launcher on a Steyr AUG?
Launchers for the AUG and the X95. The X95 one's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looks very steampunk.
Yeah. Give me Tavor with an underbarrel grenade launcher because now I've got like a 20-inch barrel in a compact package, slinging red hot 5.56 that goes through bone. Okay, here we go. I've done it. I've become the very thing I swore to destroy.
It's for survival. You got to aim for the nerve stem.
Got to aim for the nerve stem. My goodness, guys. Well, that was a lot of fun. Mark, what did you think about the movie overall? Like weapons handling, all of that. Other than the Navy getting BTFO.
So I was watching with my wife, and God bless her, because she pulled me aside. She's like, if you got drafted, I won't worry about you, because you would fight like the third monkey on the ramp to Noah's Ark, and it's raining to get back home. And it's like, you know what, you're not wrong. She's like, that trust she has in me made me feel good. But my the cake eater officer in me was getting a headache, like, conscripts, no standardized training. You're setting these guys up for failure. I mean, I did like how they casted the different conscripts. You got like that older guy that comes back with his arm missing. You've got the bigger dude with a beard, and he's wearing the Black Rifle Coffee Company shirt. And then, there are a couple women there that look like they were, extras from The Office or something. It's like, but that's when it's getting bad. I did like how they allowed him to bring his own weapons, and he kind of reverted back to what he was. But my main takeaways from that movie is like, oh man, I'm happy we're not drafting people. We got volunteers, because some personnel are difficult to lead. I can't even imagine how it is with conscripts, and people that get draftees. Also, I learned that Army doctors are really mean. So,
I mean, we actually all knew that about Army doctors.
Yeah, they're better giving shots than corpsmen. I'm sorry. I mean,
that's a fact.
Army docs and Air Force docs. You walk into the installation. Vivaldi Springtime is playing. Oh, so here's you might feel a pinch. Here you go. Have a good day. Would you help yourself to a croquet and an espresso on your way out? Maybe it's just like horse needle. It's like, bite on this, son. It'll make it easier. Than
hold up. We do not have croquets, all right? Those are really high in carbs, and we're trying to cut down on that.
Yeah, I mean, you got walking for your PRT now. I mean,
We do not have that officially yet, for the record. That's being a part of the trial phase that like 15 bases are doing, which it will probably go through, which is fine. We actually, a little known fact, we actually had walking as an alternate PRT forever. If you had some sort of injury that prevented you from running, but wasn't so severe that you could just waive the aerobic component entirely, they were like, okay, you can do this 2-kilometer walk. But they also added
Army does the same thing. Profiles do a power walk, and the time requirement, it's like, it's no joke. You're moving.
Yeah,
it's a serious walk. Like, it's not like you're just like strolling. You're like fucking doing the whole arm pumping. Like,
and if you jog once, if you jog a single step, you fail.
Yeah.
Yep. They'll DQ you.
Yeah, Navy, we had elliptical, we got rid of that. They have cycling, which is actually very hard. I like to do the bike portion, one, because I don't like running into my knees or messed up from a motorcycle accident. So it goes based on your weight and the calories you burn, and you only have 12 minutes to do it. So a lot of people are like, oh no, I could easily do the bike versus the 1.5 mile run. Like, I can still do the 1.5 mile run, but you know, if you're out of shape, you're big, and they're going on your weight on how much you got to burn in 12 minutes, it can get spicy. I mean, it's easy to pass, but it's really hard to max out on the bike. Same with the swimming. The swimming times are a little spicy. Caleb, did you end up doing that, the swim for your?
No, not the swim. I tried your row for your PRT, and that was actually pretty spicy. Like, I was able to pass. Like, I was able to get a passing score, but I wasn't able to get like a excellent rating or anything like that. I was like, oh, this is not. Yeah, this is a no joke exercise.
Yeah, they're deceptive. I mean, they're like farts. You can't trust them. So.
Never trust.
Yeah.
Keith has yeeted his video, and I think on that we're at a pretty decent length here for this episode. So since we're talking about trusting farts, I'm gonna say we've covered it. Mark, would you like to share? Would you like to share the U.S. Men's Naval Marksmanship Action Mutant Ninja Turtle Team's Facebook, social, Instagram information again?
So right now it's just our Instagram. There's a traditional one for the Bullseye guy, but it's a Navy Action Shooting Team. I'm not going to hold anyone back. Liberty call, no more piggybacking or any of that. So, yeah.
All right. So it's Navy Action Shooting Team. Just one.
No, Navy Action Shooting. That's all it is.
Navy Action Shooting. Okay.
Yeah, on Instagram. We just started the account a couple of days ago because the demographic for bullseye shooters and action shooting is very, very different. Sometimes diverge, but U.S. Navy Marksmanship Team, they have, or Navy Marksmanship Team, that's the bullseye one, but Navy Action Shooting, that's where all the cool kids are. So
give them a follow, guys.
All right, guys, that is it for this week. We will be back next week with more fun and entertaining content with less off the railsing, maybe less off the railsing. But
we're not going to promise that. We're just going to say it.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it. So in the meantime, make sure that, again, like, share, subscribe, reviews on iTunes and Spotify. And if you guys want to check out more content, there will be videos here, and you guys can go watch that. So thank you, everyone, and we will be back next week.
All right. Thanks for having me. Take care.